everyone, slightly different setting because the rest of my house is a complete mess and I need to clean it before I can show anybody. How do I even jump into this? I'll just talk about the sponsor because wow, hello, we have a sponsor for this video. How exciting. This video is sponsored by Skillshare, who I've talked about many times before on my other channel. I've used them for years. Skillshare is an online learning community and they have classes ranging from literally everything. Like I've used it before for like business and accounting, like helping me with my taxes, but also there is painting and photography and creative writing, everything in between. I think today talking about creative writing is probably a good choice. I've mentioned before that I've done a few of their like kind of poetry workshops, but the one that I'm taking right now is actually about story creation, like character development and story outlining and stuff like that. It's really interesting. It's really fun. And I think that listening to other creatives talk about their creative process, even if it doesn't work for you, I find that it gives me so many ideas and so many different ways to look at how I look at things. So I just highly recommend it. And Skillshare is offering free premium membership, which means you have access to all of their classes unlimited for the first 1,000 people who click the link below. And after that, it's around $10 a month. So definitely take advantage of it. Thank you, Skillshare, so much. But something I've also been talking a lot about, not just Skillshare, is the idea of writing just for writing's sake. And I talked about this on my main channel. I really love writing. I like the joy that it brings me is equal or more to that than reading, because you get to like live in these worlds for so much longer than you do when you're reading a book. But I was always discouraged from writing because I thought that if you wanted to write, you had to finish. You had to write a book. You couldn't just play around. You couldn't just brainstorm and like come up with the bones of a story. There's so much pressure, I think, when you're writing to fully write, you know, or whatever that even means. So what I'm doing today is I am starting a brand new story that I'm not gonna finish. I love building a world. I love coming up with characters, coming out with the outline. I don't want the pressure of having to finish a book. I'm not looking to become a published author. And I hope that this kind of inspires you guys too. Like even if you do want to become a published author, but you're too scared to start, I hope that this inspires you. My lack of ambition could maybe help you out. That's what this is about. So today, what we did, as you saw, I brainstormed a lot and I actually wrote my first 1,000 words, which is honestly the easiest part for me. I have been writing a story. I actually have about 50,000 words written for the first story that I really love. And life kind of came at me really hard a couple months ago and I lost all desire to do anything that I loved. So I stopped writing it, and even though now I'm in a better place where I can write again, I don't want to dive back into the thing that I really love and am passionate about, because I'm just not ready. I want to do like a little warm up. I want to get back in the spirit of things. And this is all that I brainstormed today. As you can see, it is a mess. I do not make any sense when I make notes. How this story started is I came up with a first sentence. I really love first sentences. And sometimes if I think hard enough, like especially when I know I want to write like a fantasy story or something, sometimes I'll just stare at a wall and a first line will come to me. And then I have to build a story from that. And I really love it. So one of those that came to me was something along the lines of, like most of us, I can't remember a time before the drop. So now my question to myself is, well, what the heck is the drop? And so I kind of built a story from that. What ended up coming from this is a place where they used to have all 4 seasons, and they just woke up one day and the temperature just dropped, and they've been stuck in this like deep freeze for over a decade. They just live in this constant horrible winter. And so that's what I'm going off of as of now. Perhaps I will link down below what I've written so far. One thing that I really like to do when I'm brainstorming is, and I know everybody does this, but just saying it out loud is nice, coming up with kind of a mood board, honestly, with my other piece that I'm working on that's much more, I have a much better idea of what it actually is, like I have it actually all planned out. I literally made playlists for it, songs that inspired me or feelings that I want to get into my writing, also visuals. And so one thing, when I think of winter, I always remember when I read Little House on the Prairie when I was really little. There's a scene where it's winter and she like pours chocolate or something on the snow and it freezes, and they eat that. They like eat this frozen chocolate thing. And I thought that was the most fantastical thing I've ever heard of. I grew up in San Diego. There's no winter there. I'm working that in. One of the characters, the little sister, she's kind of like a candy maker with the snow. I just like little details like that. It seems like it will not propel the story further, but I think it makes it endearing to write. Like it makes it fun for me to write. So in here there's a lot of pine trees, there's a lot of seaweed, ice, there's all of this like maple syrup on the snow, lots of like fireplaces, lots of crackling fires, lots of tea. Her mom works in an apothecary, so there's lots of like potions and herbs. That's kind of what we're working with, and that was just fun. I went from having one sentence to starting a little story in just a couple of hours, and that's something you can totally do. That's what I did. That was quite fun today. Now I have to do other things. I have to clean this house. I need to feed myself. I'm so hungry. And I actually have to film a video for the book channel. I'm gonna take a pause from writing right now if I can turn my brain off. Great plan. Thanks for joining me. See you when I sit down again. Okay, cool. Okay, greetings. I finished filming my video. Those kind of videos are usually quite fast. I just did like a reading wrap up. So I'm going to edit or start editing that. And then I really need to get food. It's 3:30 and all I've had is that scone. When I write, I tend to not eat. So I'm like kind of, can't see it, I'm kind of shaky. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna do that, get food, and yeah, okay, bye. So this is how you know that you love your job, because I have been working on this. When did I? So it's been 3 hours that I have like not looked up. Like the time just flies by when I'm working on this. So I'm going to finish uploading this video. I finished editing it and stuff. I will see you after dinner. focus. You actually shouldn't focus on me. Focus on what's behind me. So I came to... Hello? So I came to Seoul Forest just to write. There's a cafe that has a really beautiful view, and I thought it wasn't going to be crowded, but I forgot that it's super duper windy today, and it blew all of the leaves. It blew all of the leaves off of the unhang, so everybody's out because it just looks absolutely beautiful today. So yeah. It is like unfair how ridiculously beautiful it is right now. Like, oh, man, this autumn has just treated us right. We got a very quick, short, not awesome autumn last year. It just became winter very quickly, but this one has been so lovely. Yeah, I'm inspired. A lot of writing and being creative is giving yourself time to not do anything, to just listen to music and get inspired in other ways. So this is technically part of my writing exercise, just walking around. Okay, hello. I do not have enough hands to do this. I can't tell if you can see. I have like a pine branch in my hand. Oh, and now it makes a park announcement. Anyway, I'm heading home. I've written about 1,500 words, which is exciting, like in total. So I wrote about 500 today, which is fun. And I'm like kind of getting to know the characters. I really, other than my like first story, I kind of knew what was gonna happen, so I was writing knowing a lot about the characters already. But right now I'm doing kind of a Leigh Bardugo style, and she says that I'm so sorry, I'll wait for this announcement to be over. Okay, so Leigh Bardugo in an interview said that a lot of times the first draft for her is kind of like a first date. So she kind of like has the characters very vaguely formed in her head, and then they will kind of throughout the story kind of tell her who they are. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. I really don't know these characters that well, which is kind of exciting. But anyway, this has been great. Let me know if you're interested in more writing vlogs. I will link below if there's anything to share. I'll link my writing so far. And it's quite chilly. It is in the single digits today in Celsius, which is winter's coming. So yeah, I'm gonna take in the last bit of sunlight today, enjoy the park, and I will see you guys next time. So thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this. Once again, please check the link down below for your premium membership. Definitely try it out. The wind doesn't want me to vlog anymore. So yeah, just thank you again to Skillshare. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!